By the way, I also want to throw a shout out to Rick Saunders. He's out here filming us. He said his 137 is what he needs people to sign up every day.
Doors, out of doors, where would you like to go?
How are you? Where do you want to go? Do you want to just open up the door and have the bay open and we can just have that in the background? Alright, it's gonna be monumental, Coach. You ready? You excited? I'm pumped. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Renting Ranting Quarters. I'm your host and pilot, Rumor Rick, on this fantastic journey through the purple and blue skies. And today, we're flying with a very special co-pilot who happens to be one of the best high school coaches in history, and also the guy who brought us many championships in the CIF Southern section here in Mira Costa in the beautiful city of Manhattan Beach, who also happens to be a great father, who happens to also be a great husband, a great human being, and an overall great mentor. His name is Coach Don Morrow. Coach Don Morrow, say what up to the world.
What up, world?
Hey, listen, all right, so over 30 years ago, call it 33 years ago, I played here, 93, my junior year here at Mira Costa. It was your first year here coaching at Mira Costa. We won the CIF championship that year. And then we won it again, or we went back to CIF championship the second year, but we didn't win it because we didn't have Phil Fanua, Dino Rossi, love you too guys. But the point is, we hadn't won a championship the entire time our football program was started here, over 50 years before you started. Your first year here, you won it. So before we get into how you get these young men to listen to you and become successful young men in the real world, let's unpack this and go back to the beginning, right? Where did you grow up? How did you get from wherever you grew up to here?
Where did I grow up? Man, I grew up on 18th Street in Manhattan Beach, right over now where the modern day middle school is located. That's kind of where we grew up. And went to Aviation High School, which was 4 or 5 blocks to the east of there. El Camino College, Cal State Northridge.
Awesome. So while you're going through this local journey, you go to those local schools. Did you know you wanted to become a head coach?
No, I didn't. I wanted to be an athlete is what I really, I couldn't get enough of sports. Back then you kind of just matriculated from season to season. So we would go from football to basketball to baseball and just loved it. Couldn't get, my recollection is, like, my mom would call us in at midnight or whatever to stop.
I remember those days.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
To grow up in, especially in a community like Manhattan, where you could actually do that, and all year round, weather-wise and everything. So, and then I didn't really get into the coaching bug after I'd finished my college playing. One of my old high school coaches was Herb Henchy. Was coaching the local all-star game here. They call it the Lions all-star game. And he and his staff had been asked to coach one of the sides, and then I had finished playing, and he invited me to come help out with the quarterbacks and receivers a little bit. And so that was the first taste of it. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, but I just loved working with the kids, and I think that's always been the allure all along, is that just how hard these kids will try.
No doubt.
And so that part of it has been very, very cool.
So were you going to college at that point?
I was going to college. The joke is I wanted to be a medical doctor. Our high school medical doctor, team doctor, was an orthopedic surgeon, and we all loved him. He was a great, great guy. So I wanted to be like him. And I didn't pull it off. and so my wife, she never lets me. I'm kidding. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, and I had a chemistry degree from Northridge. So now, what are you going to do with that degree if it's not going to be to apply to the med schools? And so I started looking around different things, sales and da-da-da-da. And I went to this clinic, really, this workshop on teacher training. And I liked it a lot. It was very cool. And I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And at the time, my recollection is they were short of teachers a little bit, so the program was kind of accelerated. They were getting people through there maybe faster than they ordinarily would have. And so I think after a year, I had my credential and was actually lucky enough to get in here. This is the fall of, oh man, that's like the fall of '83, something like that.
Okay.
I started out here as a chem and math teacher, and that same guy who had invited me to help in the All-Star game was the head coach here now, Herb Henchy.
Oh yeah.
Because Aviation had closed.
I remember.
And they had now merged with Mira Costa and with Redondo.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to work here and taught those subjects, and then tried to help out in any way I could with his quarterbacks and receivers.
Awesome. So you mentioned a degree in chemistry. So obviously you're quite intelligent. You've got something upstairs.
I don't know about that.
Right. Wasn't there there was some sort of rumor that you turned down Harvard?
Well, I don't know if turned down, but in coming out of high school, that was one of the places that I could have gone, and it was going to be a big change for my family, and for me, but yeah, I wound up going the JC route instead.
That's impressive. I mean, to turn that down and go to the JC route, and it seems like it was destined, right? Like you felt
maybe,
your path.
Maybe that's another one that a lot of people, razz me pretty good on, Harvard.
JC, yeah.
But it all worked out, and it gave me the chance to keep. I would have played just football back there, but it gave me the chance to keep playing football and baseball. I did both of them at the JC, and so that was cool, to be able to continue doing both.
Yeah, no doubt. So obviously you're an athlete, you understand. So do you think your background, your heart, your energy, your soul for sports, for athleticism, for that camaraderie, do you think that transcends well into your coaching?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, because our high school coaches, we had Ron Barris, who was our head coach, who was tremendous, and Herb, who I've alluded to a couple times. Larry Petrol was our defensive coordinator, and he had been a head coach and a defensive coordinator at El Camino.
Yep.
And then Chuck Aerosmith came on their staff as a young O-line coach back in the day. Well, all those guys were preaching the same things that we've preached all along, that this is the greatest team sport if you'll let it be. It's the greatest team sport in terms of what you were saying. All that camaraderie that gets built, and all that selflessness that gets built.
Yes.
And I always say, I know there's a lot of different sports and a lot of different ways to learn those lessons, but I know for sure you can learn them in football.
Yes. For sure. All right, so obviously football is your love. You have 3 awesome sons that I have yet to meet in their adult lives, but they came through here, they played underneath you as well. How is that? How is that coaching your sons?
Well, first of all, on the big picture overall, it was unbelievable. That's what I would say about that. But we had, like the struggle that football is, all of them got injured at one point or another in their career here and visited the ER.
Oh, yeah.
With
Oh,
Tim,
the ER.
Tim and,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the ER.
Yeah.
There was a leg fracture, and there was a back thing, and there was a cabeza thing, and so that, you know, you don't want to see any of the kids have to go through it, but when it's your own, you know, it's especially tough. And but my recollection is overall it was very, very cool. We would ride over in the morning, you know, together, and maybe once in a while the conversation would turn towards football, and then all of those guys played with some great kids, you know, some wonderful kids who they're still, you know, in association with. So that speaks to what we talked about earlier, just the bond and everything that it brings. So, and then, you know, like you were pointing out, I have the love for the game, right? So just maybe to share that with those guys and see if we never tried to force it down their throats, my wife and I, but see if maybe it was something they wanted to do, and you know, be it for me, them being at work with their dad, and then for, you know, from my end of it, me being at school with my kids. That's part of it's pretty cool, you know.
No doubt.
So
no doubt. Did you have a struggle of, oh, this is my kid, I don't want to give the wrong optics of starting them or putting them over somebody else? How was that?
That's always hard as a coach, and the guys and the kid, my boys understood that, you know, I wasn't going to try to be any harder on them than I was on anybody else, but they understood that optic. They understood that, you know, everything has to be earned. There's not going to be any gifts and so forth, and they handle that really well. They handle that really well.
Fantastic. Well, they have a great leader to show them the right way.
Where is there somebody coming by, Rick?
No, I'm saying you're the great leader. Absolutely not. Mr. Humble, I love it. All right, so you're successful. You've been successful at this level, high school level, 3 plus decades. Amazing school, Mira Costa, my hometown, Manhattan Beach. I've grown up here my entire life. It's a great little nook, right? And you've carved out a piece here. You're part of the community here. Everybody loves you here. I would imagine that $60 million facility that you just introduced me to, this would not have been built without you, without your success. I mean, I'm sure like the volleyball team and other athletic programs have helped, but I would imagine this is the cornerstone that started that. So having said that, what made you, I would imagine you could have gone to a lot of colleges, maybe even the NFL. What made you to just stay here and not go anywhere else?
Well, first of all, I do want to say one of the things about Costa, and, you know, like in regards to the building that you were alluding to and everything, there are so many excellent programs here, and you know, we never wanted to be, you know, like the program or anything like that. We just wanted to be one of, and there are so many excellent programs, and I'm talking about in athletics and in the arts and in obviously in the academic areas, and I think that's why you see, you know, these beautiful facilities coming in, because I think the community appreciates the excellence, and it probably goes back, you know, really again to just how hard the kids will strive. You know, you have some unbelievably driven kids here that work so hard. So I think that's kind of where it comes from, and then, you know, some of our older facilities have become antiquated enough that you needed something new. I don't know if anybody knew it was going to be that Taj Mahal over there, which is so beautiful. But you know, it needed to be done. So anyway, I just wanted to put some history on that. So as far as once we got to the point, you know, where we had kids, where Roxanne and I had kids, and the kids were getting a little bit older, at that point, as a college coach, you're probably going to wind up picking up and moving a lot. That job involves a lot of, you know, I'm a receivers coach here, but I want the offensive coordinator job over there. You know, you're moving around a great deal, and so I don't think that would have been good for our family. And so there became a point where it was going to be here, and there was nothing better than here. I tell people all the time, I've never once woke up in the morning and not wanted to get over there and do my job in the classroom, you know, where I had obviously great kids academically.
Yes.
And then for me, the way my schedule worked, you know, you would get to like noontime, I would go for a run with my old time buddy Jim Beaumont, who tried to bury me, on the road. and then you go to the athletic part of the day, and you're working with kids like yourself and Tate McAllister and just all these wonderful JR, and all these wonderful kids. So that was my job. I mean, that's been my job forever. You get to work with these extremely driven kids in the academic realm, come down here and work with these extremely driven kids in the athletic realm, and then to be with the Ray Lees of the world, the Jim Beaumonts, the Chuck Aerosmiths, and on and on and on. I mean, those were my colleagues, so pretty fortunate that way. I will say this. The one, if there was any regret about not going and coaching at the next level, it would only be that I have so much respect for how competitive that is in the college ranks and in the professional ranks. And we've had some friends and buddies who've done that, and we kind of have listened and learned from them and stuff. But I just love how competitive it is.
Yeah.
And it's plenty competitive here for us now. There's no question about it. But at that college level and that pro level, man, that's the one thing I think I probably missed a little bit.
Yeah. Do you ever any thoughts of maybe taking off and maybe trying it out?
No.
I mean, you don't have to say it here, but
no, not at this point. At this point, I think last year or the year before, I kind of thought about, making some 5-year plan or something like that, to where you could hand this off to, we have plenty of qualified guys here who could take the reins and run with it. But I think that's how it'll ride out.
Yeah.
Here at Costa.
Well, you choosing to stay put and not, I'm not assuming, but actually I am going to assume, but I would assume that you probably had a lot of offers throughout the decades, right? You're a well-known coach, you're successful, you get a lot out of everybody, right? Even guys like me, right? I was a 190-pound inside linebacker, and I just wanted to make you happy because you were just such a great mentor to me, right? So
high school football, baby.
No doubt.
That 190-pound guy, that's the man. That's the man, right?
I was like eating like 3,000. Why can't I just gain weight? And here I am now older, like trying to shred.
Yeah, you're blessed now.
Oh my God, right? Like, why can't I just lose this? But it's interesting, right? So, having said that, right, you've got that ability to get everybody out, right? And the fact that you chose to stay put, I think just another spoke in your wheel of a great human being you are, right? I mean, the fact that you didn't want to pick up and it was going to cause havoc for your wife, the kids, right? Always moving and stuff. I mean, because let it be known, if you were a single dude, if you were like me and you were a coach, you would have just kicked ass in collegiate realm all day long. You would have been.
You might have done that and everything, but I think like everybody, I put our family first, and I should pay tribute to her, to Roxanne, because while we're doing the crazy hours that we do, in the fall, especially the summer and fall, she's really the one that's at home raising those guys and everything.
Yeah.
But I always tried to coach their little league teams in the off season and do everything that dads do, help them with the homework and da.
For sure.
But she's the one that she deserves so much credit for all that.
And you guys are still together, man. So she's just a...
Still together. We just got, we were married August 7th, 1982. So we just passed the 43 threshold.
Congratulations, man. Hell yeah. Well, that's impressive. So I know when we were playing underneath you, playing with you, playing for you, you guys pulled up, we had this Pennywise song that we loved to play.
Yeah.
And you guys knew it, and we played it. It was like our team motto. We played it in the locker room.
I think it was your team motto.
Right?
Yeah.
Our
it was
highlight
great.
room.
It was great.
Right?
Yeah.
But you guys, I don't know if you remember this, but you pulled up and you had a Lexus, didn't you? A white one? Somebody had a Lexus.
It probably wasn't me.
Anyways, you guys all piled into this Lexus. Whoever it was a 4-door. We're all in the locker room 2 days. We're about to do a second round session.
Yeah.
And you guys come in just blaring that. And we all come out of the locker room like, who's playing? And it's you guys, and you guys are like, yeah. And we just thought that was the coolest thing to have these coaches. And that camaraderie right there, the fact that I don't know, I mean, it sucks that John Russell just passed, and we just saw you at a service a couple of weeks ago, and you guys made it there, right, with all the coaches, and that just speaks to how close we were. So you build those bonds, I would imagine, with every team that comes through here, but I would imagine some are more special than others, right? You probably get a little bit more sticky with some groups, but...
Yeah, I think you do. It's your guys' groups, like back to back, were just, I think, unusual, and just how well bonded you. And I don't really know what the cause of all that was. Just the people coming together at that time. And I say that because I think we might have that going on this year, in this fall. It seems like these boys are super close, and willing to lay it on the line for one another. So,
yeah. I want to liken it to movie magic, right? Where the lighting's perfect, the director, the writing, the acting, everything is perfect. So you coming over at the perfect time when we had crushed it our freshman year, our group.
Yep.
We crushed it our sophomore year. We tried to go undefeated both years, but we lost to Culver City.
Yeah.
Right? And then our junior year, we were so bummed because we didn't understand what coach was going to happen. There was a carousel. They didn't know what ambiguity. You come in and we hit the ground running and we never looked back.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't know, for me, that to look back on that, everything was perfectly set up for us, for you, for your program, your coaches.
No
and
question.
Then you guys stayed together. We've all stayed together.
To get off to that start, I think in any endeavor, if you get off to that kind of start, I mean, man, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
And
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. And then for us to come over and inherit, we inherited that group. And so many of those guys that were coaching you guys before then deserve. Larry Petrol was the coach here. For Bill Lyle was the coach here.
After him, yep.
And of course, I always felt like Mike Gunn deserved a lot of credit for mentoring you guys and really teaching you guys how to play hard and play tough. And
that's a great point.
Yeah, and I think he was tremendous. Mike was, and he also came on and helped us out with a lot of stuff as we were going on, especially through that first season.
Yes.
He was really savvy with blitz adjustments and stuff like that from a defensive perspective. But I remember, and we had just come off, a few really successful seasons at South, and I loved working at South. The South kids are, people don't even know this, I don't think, but they're amazingly similar to the Mira Costa kids, and they played so hard for us, and it was really hard to leave those guys. The attraction was the fact that Aviation was closed, and we were going to now come back as close as we could to our hometown high school, and that just wound up being Mira Costa at the time. And then, but I remember Herb Hinchy now is done coaching and he's into administration. He's one of the vice principals, I believe, or maybe the AD at that time. And so we set up a deal. Herb, can we come over and meet the kids? I've never met the kids. I'd like to meet the kids. And so he arranged it. This is, my recollection is it's like in May or something like this. And the old wrestling room. He got as many of the guys as he could. It might have been like at lunchtime because I was still teaching over there. You know? And I think Ray and I walked into that room, maybe Chuck, and we looked around the room, and of course, there's Phil, there's Tate,
yes,
Stu Sellers,
yes,
all these mastodons,
yes,
and we thought, oh my God, and to your point too, now you start to get access to the videotapes, and you start to look through, and you can see, how many good players there are on the tapes, and how close the group was in '92. Really, they were very, very close to being a great team in '92, and so yeah, all that is just a part of how we fell into it. I think, really.
Movie magic. I mean, had Aviation not closed, you might have just stayed put at South.
Yeah, or maybe gone back and worked at Aviation, and so yeah, it's crazy.
Well, thank you for leaving South. All right, so how's your time right now?
Those guys are great. I'm doing good.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a few more minutes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Somehow the coaches got us to believe that we needed to play and practice football the right way. And you guys know how important that is to me, right? These guys have played for me before, Ricky and Darren. I want you to hit him right in the mouth. I want you to hit him right in the mouth. And then celebrate with who? Celebrate with your teammates, right? That's the right way to do it.
Okay, so let's see. Where are we? All right, so married, kids, successful coach. You're still a chemistry teacher.
So I retired last year.
Okay.
So I'm officially done in the classroom. No more kids have to take me anymore. Good for them. And then basically just a full-time varsity football coach now.
Love it. So what do you do in the off season?
In the off season, my friend Brad Angelari runs the JV baseball, and so I volunteered to help him. and as you know, as a football coach, there's plenty to do in the off season. You know, from training the kids and the off season 7-on-7s and football, like most of the sports, you know, these days for the kids, I think it can be a year-round almost endeavor.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to do, but I've really enjoyed getting down there and helping him with the baseball. You know, just get to work with some different kids and get out of the weight room for a minute.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
That part of it's been cool.
Okay. He goes on to say, I don't remember exactly how they got us to play that way, but they made it very clear that there was a specific way the game should be played. Tough and fast, without any fear, but with precision and accuracy and class. I love the fact that he included the word class. Winning was almost like a second thing. It just became something that we did because we did all the stuff the right way during the week that went into that.
And then back to football. So I just remembered, you won what, 4 championships here?
We've won 3. We've lost in the final 6 times. So you know, if you wanted to criticize me, that'd be a good place to start.
Oh, never criticize me. Yeah,
but,
no, for
I
sure.
always dream about that. You know, man, what if we could have just flipped the switch a few times? Yeah. But no, it's great to get there and it's great to win. And we've been lucky 3 times and unlucky 6 times. But whether we did or didn't, I mean, sure, you'd rather have. We have our little wall here.
Yeah.
We've got 3 paints over there and
Yeah.
6 over here. We'd like to have, but you know, what are you going to do? Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
For sure.
I don't think as people we need to dwell on that. I think there's plenty to do today and tomorrow, and that's the approach that I take. Is that, you know, we're going to go down there and get those guys better today. I have a little saying that I say to them all the time, that these things that happen over here on the left side of the wall particularly, they just happen.
Yeah.
They just happen. You guys in your year just kept going along and going along and going along, and the next thing you know, you look up and you're in the finals.
No doubt.
If we played as hard as we possibly could, there was no way we could lose. He and the other coaches set a standard. They taught us the history and tradition of that standard, and they made damn sure that we lived up to that standard. And the kids have been doing it here for now 30, 35 years going on. Okay? You have so many people that are supporting you tonight. I went to the Booster Club meeting Wednesday night. There are so many of your parents that are involved in supporting you. Your student body is going to be here to support you. Hey, if you don't love tonight, right? If we don't love tonight, I think we might have come to the wrong deal, right?
You know, and nobody planned, we're going to be in the finals.
Yeah.
Nobody says that. Nobody plans for that.
Yeah.
I think what they plan for as competitors is just try to get better at your craft every single day.
Yep.
And then never forget that if 11 people aren't playing together, you can forget it.
No doubt. And I think that speaks to why our class and why a lot of classes behind us played so well, is because that camaraderie is there, right? But that camaraderie wouldn't be there if you didn't have that connection with the athletes as well.
Yeah.
Boys, enjoy it now. Enjoy it, babe. Right? We only get a few more of these. Don't. Got it in you? Got it in you? It doesn't need to be anything supernatural. It just needs to be what we do. Everybody agree with that? It just needs to be what we do. What we do is good enough, I'm telling you right now. Hell yeah! I'm telling you right now. What we do is good enough. You guys just do your thing.
I appreciate that. I think it's just a whole thing. I think it's the staff, the kids themselves. You know, most importantly, it's the kids. And coaches probably sometimes, you know, get too much credit when it goes good. You know, but the community. You know, like you said earlier, what a community.
Yeah.
You know, so I think all that stuff together. I think we're just trying to reinforce those lessons of family and, you know, teamwork and brotherhood and selflessness.
Yes.
If I could speak. I think we're just trying to reinforce all that.
Well, you've done it. You've done a great job. And in fact, you've done such a great job. I think you've gotten a few athletes up to the NFL and AFL level, right?
We've had a couple guys go. A couple guys go to the Canadian League, yeah, that's always really super cool to see them. Jelani right now is playing linebacker for the Patriots. He's had a great run with them.
What year was he here?
He was actually a teammate of Harrison, who's our youngest. So those guys go through in. They would have played varsity like 11, 12, 13 in there.
Okay.
Hey, real quick. Okay? Great ball game, great half. 0-0 essentially, right? Couldn't be in a better place. Want to remind you of down there at San Juan Hills, right? We got behind by 21, 28. We came back. You guys played an even from that point on. Now we're already even, right? So here's what I want to encourage you to do. It's right there for the taking. Get your out there, do the things you've been taught to do, and frickin' take it. Hell yeah! Frickin' take it. Let's go. All right, let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Coach Gardner spun off. He was an assistant coach here underneath you, right?
Unbelievable assistant, and another one of these guys who I think when I think about Coach Gardner, he loved the kids so much. He would do anything for the kids, and that was one of the things that you immediately noticed when you came over. You know, he had already been an assistant on Herb's staff and on Larry's staff, I think.
Yeah.
And you could just tell he had a love affair for the kids, and it was mutual. You know, the kids loved him, and they knew he would do anything for them. And I think you know, all the success he's had up there at PV, it's no surprise because the kids play so hard for him.
For sure. Well, we just saw him a couple of days ago, and he couldn't stop talking about you and the program too. So I think it's a mutual.
I slept him a couple. I knew you were coming, so.
I love it too. You got Coach Gardner, and then you mentioned Coach Beaumont, right? He's no longer coaching.
Coach retired. You
Right.
know, he retired from doing the health and doing the baseball, and I tease him now. He's now a full-time professional golfer.
Awesome. Love it. And then you got Coach A, Coach Lee, right? So you guys still have that synergy still going. I saw you guys 2 weeks ago at JR's service, so it's good to see you guys still doing that. But I'm bringing that up because the second part of this interview is going to be, we're going to redo this again, but we're going to do this with everybody together.
Oh, that'd be awesome, yeah.
You down with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. It's all on the top.
To hear everybody, you know, you're kind of caught in your own perspective, you know, and that's the neatest part about it, is to hear how everybody else thinks about it as it's gone along. 'Cause it's been a long time. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's why I wanted to put this in the can, in the ether, for eternity, so the world can see, because this story needs to be shared.
Yep.
I was part of this, right? And it's been great to just sit here in this community
awesome.
and just read the papers every year and just see he's still going, he's still doing it. Watching, you know, our group, our community, our dudes, and ladies, right? Everybody just responding really well to the wake that you're leaving, to what everybody's leaving here.
Yep, for
right?
sure.
So, before I let you go, Coach, is there anything that you want to put down? You want to say to the world before we end this?
No, just the things that you were alluding to. I think, you know, after doing this for all these years, I think all that we would hope and pray is that we could have given you guys just something. If there was any something that you could have taken from your experience with us that might have helped you somewhere along, you know, I think that makes it for coaches. And the other way is true too. You know, you guys gave us so much as well. But I think, you know, that's the ticket if you want to coach for a long time is you know, can you leave some sort of mark like that on the kids that somehow is useful for them in their grown-up life.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm getting chills because I'm gonna hold, because I want to make sure they can hear this.
What, we got school bells or something going on?
I know, what's going on here? Are we at a high school? What's going on here?
What is it?
So I was getting chills while you were saying that, because that's exactly what I remember when I saw you right on the beach a couple weeks ago. I'll never forget this. So you said that you would hope that you made some impact on your students' lives or athletes' lives. But for me personally, I still remember we practiced on the other side over there, summertime, 2 days.
Yeah.
I remember Phil Fanua was running first team offense. We were running first team defense. I had to fill a hole. I didn't do it because he's a big effer. I was scared of
Yes, he is. He's
right?
Big,
I was 190 pounds.
He's a big one.
Right, so he kind of trucked me, but I still, you know, and you were standing up on the top of the railing and you said, "God damn it, Saunders. Coach Gunn told me you're a murderous, whatever it was, linebacker. Show me." And you ran the same play. And what did I do? I filled the hole.
You probably filled it.
And I was so proud of myself. I was in pain because a big dude, right? I didn't take him down, but we had other people. But that has always stuck with me. I don't know why to this day. It's still, I mean, even when I'm at work, I think about things like that because I truly value, I think I'm an overachiever at sometimes. Like even when I'm doing
that's
here,
what I was gonna. That's
right?
what I was gonna say is you know, you're overachieving by filling on that 280-pound
No doubt
beast, and then don't forget the courage side of it. You know,
Yes.
you're digging down inside of you, you know, to try to find a piece of courage that you don't know if you have that or not. You know, we're all that way as athletes. I was the same way, and so that's a form of physical courage, probably right there. But the courage to get up every day and go to work and do the things that you're trying to do for your family and
No doubt.
It's still courage.
No
right?
doubt. And obviously, you know, my father taught me a lot, right, about exactly that. But that was an extra added layer of reinforcement of like, okay, when you're faced with something that you're a little fearful, you've never done it before,
Yep.
you just got to do it and see
Yep.
what happens, right? So thank you, Coach.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Well,
you, Rick.
everybody, we're going to wrap this up right now. But Coach Don Morrow, you've been an amazing influence on all of our lives, right?
Thank you.
All of my, everybody, and I can probably speak to everybody that I don't even know that's been underneath your wing. So, Coach Don Morrow, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rick. Have a good one. Thanks, guys. Peace 137. We wish you all success.
Don, how many years you been doing this?
About 149, I think.
Since 1993.
We actually started here in '83 as assistants, and then we went down to Redondo for 5 years as assistants.
Okay.
And then in '89, I was the head coach at South for 4 years. And then
Okay.
came over here in '93.
Okay.
Yeah, so 4 years. So.
Okay.
How about you guys? How about you guys? How long you guys been doing it now?
This is our 25th season.
Yeah, I figured 25, 30, yeah, something like that.
We say you and Greg are the only two left when we started.
Yeah, we're the only ones dumb enough. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rumor Rick. I just got done filming another episode of Renting Ranting Quarters with our illustrious Coach Don Morrow here at Mira Costa Manhattan Beach. Coach, how did the interview go?
Fabulous.
I love you, Coach. We're going to put it in the can. We'll post it in a couple weeks, but love you. Thanks, Coach.